Hi, I'm Steve from Red's Fly Shop, and I'm out here with our good friend Chef Kevin Davis, Canyon River Grill.
That's right.
And we were able to sneak out this afternoon and get a little bird hunt in. So we went and hunted some pheasants this afternoon. As you can see, we were successful, and Kevin managed to knock a few birds out of the sky today. How was the shooting today, Kevin?
You know, I think I got lucky. That's all I can say. I was lucky.
So we hear from lots of people who want to come out bird hunting. It's something that they're interested in. It's something that they want to try. It's something they want to bring their kids out and do. One thing that people find very intimidating, they love the thought of getting out here in the fresh air, blue sky, sunshine, and getting some exercise in. The thing they find very intimidating is this right here. And that is, after you knock a bird down, what do you do with it? How do you take care of it from there? So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what we do. This one landed in the creek out there when Kevin shot it, so it's a little bit wet right now. But I am gonna go through and just show you how to take care of a bird in the field to get it broke down, and which at that point, the chef is gonna take over once we get this thing broke down and he's back in the comfortable setting of his kitchen. So the first thing you want to do when we get a bird like this, we come back, we unload them all. We've got a couple of important things that we need. Simple Ziploc bag is a great idea, and a very sharp knife. And I like a knife with non-serrated edges on it, just a nice straight sharp blade. This one is actually my Sage knife. A few years ago, they did a promo, and this SOG knife, Sage gave me that one. You see that, Kevin? I think that might be a one of a kind. I don't know that I've ever seen another Sage knife like that. But to take care of this bird, what we want to do is we grab right in between the back legs, grab it right at the elbows here, and I'm going to pinch in, and I'm going to pinch a little bit of skin in here. I'm not just grabbing feathers right now. I'm actually just pinching a little bit of skin too. With my top two fingers and my thumb is all I'm doing here. And I put a little bit of pressure in there, and I can feel my fingers go in right there. And once you feel that open up, especially when these things are warm, you can just go ahead and peel all of that skin back. And what we've got there is we've got a nice exposed pheasant breast then. It's not bloody, it's not too shot up in this case, it's not stinky. So once you get these things opened up like that, it's really pretty easy to deal with. And you saw how easy it was for me to take care of that right there. I mean, I just used my fingers. I'm not using a knife at all. Now I'm gonna just set this thing down right here. And to fillet that breast off, when these birds are wet like this, they get a little bit sticky. But to fillet that breast off, I'm just gonna fillet right down this side of the breast and right down this side of the breast with the knife. So I will just turn this thing over sideways here. We come right down this side of the breast, all the way down. I'm going to keep it pretty tight to the breast cavity so we're not wasting any meat. Just like watching the chef fillet a fish. We don't like to waste meat, do we, Kevin?
Nope. Looks like you've done that once or twice, haven't you?
We've done this a few times, and you can see here, one thing about these are actually farm raised birds here that we planted out here. We're on our bird preserve today, and you can see with these farm raised birds, number one, this is a massive pheasant. That is a very big pheasant breast right there. But number two, you can see all the fat on this breast. All that yellow here is fat. And these birds are very well fed, which is an important thing, because when we do these hunts, we always want the birds to fly really well. We want it to be very similar to a wild bird hunt. So it's important that we keep these birds really healthy. And that means that we feed them very high vitamin and mineral fortified feed, and we've got them in pretty big flight pens. So we actually make these birds fly every day when they're in their pen. So they're getting plenty to eat, good food, and we're making sure that we get them exercised every day too. So once we do that, that's a boneless, skinless breast right there. As you can see, attached to that is the cutlet. And that cutlet, once we get those back, and Kevin's going to take care of those, he will show you what to do from there. You can see we've got one little pellet left on the surface right there, and we'll go ahead and we'll deal with that in the kitchen then.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put that breast right into the bag there. I'm going to go ahead and fillet down the other side of this breast now. Same thing that I just did on that one. Just cut it straight down and just keep peeling as you go. And that's it for that bird. That's got the breast off right there. I'll go ahead and pick those little feathers off, but the rest of it will actually wash up in the kitchen when we're getting ready to prepare these, is where they get the final cleaning. And again, same thing, it's got the cutlet on there. Nice big healthy breast. And we'll add that one to the bag right there. And that's in it. And then I'll show you how to do one thigh as well, because that's the other part of a bird that we do like to harvest, is the thighs. A lot of people with pheasants will just take breasts, but I do like the thighs because I like to make a lot of times either a pasta dish with them or a stew of some kind, a crock pot soup or something like that.
Yeah, I've had your chili. It's delicious.
That's one of my kids' favorites.
Yeah, it's really
so
good.
what I'm doing now is same bird that I was just working on a minute ago. I'm just going to keep pulling that skin a little bit further on this side, and I clear and expose that whole thigh there. And look at all the fat on this bird. I mean,
Wow.
this is really a big healthy bird right here. As soon as I expose that, I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure here with my thumb, and I'm going to apply it down, and right there you just saw that hip bone pop through there. So at that point, I know that that's all separate there, and I know that I'll go ahead and get those feathers off of my knife there. I know that I've got a clear line to cut through there, so I'm going to go ahead at that point and I'm going to separate the rest of this thigh right here, and I'm coming right down through that junction where that thigh separated from the body cavity, and there's our thigh all exposed in the lower leg. A lot of times I'll use a pair of shears for this right here, but for right now it's just as easy just to break that bone right there and pop that through. And then you don't need a saw, you don't need a pair of shears, you don't need anything, just a nice sharp knife, and know where you're going to go. And you can see what a big piece of meat that is right there.
Beautiful confit.
Confit.
Yep.
I like the sounds of that. So that's how we take care of bird. We do the same thing on the other side of the thigh there. And once we get that off, I mean 95% of the meat on this bird, you're using all of it with just those 4 different pieces that you break out of it. And it's a great way to do it. As you can see, I mean, it's not a bloody, stinky job at all. It is something that, you know, it takes a little bit of practice to get good at it. But once you get it down, it's something that you can do in the field very easily. And as we know in this day and age, it makes a lot of sense. People want to know where the food they're eating is coming from. And this is a great way to enjoy that.
Well, that's great. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for showing us that. That's amazing.
Thank you, guys.